Hey guys, Mark Holmes here, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Some breaking news. Dak Prescott said that his people have been talking to the Dallas Cowboys people and have offered a counter proposal on the contract situation. That's right. So his people are talking to them to find out and say, okay, we appreciate your offer, but here's what we want. So we'll have to wait and see what that is. Well, I would love to know what that number looks like right now. And I know there's a lot of you guys out there that are saying, you know what, Dak Prescott is not worth $30 million. No way, no how, forget about it. But you know what? Here at the Joe Boo Sports Report, we try to take emotion out of decisions. We try to at least look at this analytically. So here's what I did. You see, I don't try and just pull stuff out my rear end and just say, this is how it should be. No. I try and at least have a argument for what I say. You know, and I know everybody says, well, you just like Dak Prescott for whatever reason and all. No, I like Dak Prescott. I think he's a great human being, but I also think he's a hell of a quarterback, regardless of what you hear on television, because those guys, I'm sorry, they're wrong. Now, can we at least look at the situation from, it was 2 seasons last year. The first 8 games before Amari Cooper, although one of them Amari was there, and the second half of the season. Now, for a multitude of reasons, because basically everybody was a new receiver, you lost a Hall of Famer in Jason Witten, you got rid of a Dez Bryant, and until Amari Cooper, you didn't really replace him. And I know so many people out there think it doesn't matter who you throw to. If you're a good quarterback, it's automatically going to work. Well, I dare say there was a difference between the guys we put out the first half of the season versus, say, what Matt Ryan had, considering he had Julio Jones and he had Sanu, Calvin Ridley. I'll say that Big Ben, you know, with Juju Schuster and, you know, Antonio Brown, he had a few better wide receivers. Or if you look at Deshaun Watson, well, Watson had, you know, Hopkins, who's probably the best receiver in football. I will say having those guys will make a quarterback look better. But let's just go through and let's try and compare apples to apples. And let's look at the second half of the season, the last 8 games, okay? Because we are told that Dak Prescott is a dink and dunker, that he's inaccurate, he's a middle-of-the-road quarterback, right? That's what you're told, and you hear it so many times that you start to begin to believe it. Well, here's what we're going to do. Like I said, we took, and look at this. This is work. I went through Jared Goff, Carson Wentz, Big Ben, Russell Wilson, Aaron freaking Rodgers, Matty Ice, Tom Terrific, Kirk Cousins, and Dak Prescott. Okay? These are the final numbers here. But I went through and took how many yards they had each of those games, added them up to give you how many yards they threw total through the last 8 games. Counted up the number of touchdown passes, the number of interceptions, also how many yards per completion, as well as a quarterback rating. Okay? Jared Goff, the last 8 games of the season, 2,263 yards, 15 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 7.4 yards per completion for a 93 QBR. Carson Wheelchair Wentz did not play the last 3 games of the season, so we had to back up 3 more weeks before that. Had less yards, 2,160 yards, 16 TDs, 6 interceptions, 7.7 yards per completion, and had almost 10 yard QBR higher than Jared Goff did the last 8 games. Okay. Big Ben had 2,569 yards, 18 TDs, but he also had 9 interceptions, so 2-1. 8.11 yards per completion, 100 QBR. Russell Wilson, now this amazed me because he had the fewest amount of yards, 1,657 yards, but he had 17 TDs and only 2 interceptions, which is really good. So he had a 107 QBR. That was really great. And averaged 7.8 yards per completion. Clearly, they were running the ball a lot more. Aaron frickin' Rodgers, 1,820 yards, 10 TDs, 1 interception, but only a 6.9 yard per completion. That was the lowest yards per completion on this list. And only a 95 QBR. Wow. Matty Ice had the most touchdowns. He threw for 2,589 yards, 20 TDs, 5 interceptions, 8.3 yards, 116 QBR. You know, that was the best. Tom Terrific, Super Bowl champion, multiple Super Bowl champion, had 2,155 yards, 12 TDs, 3 interceptions, 96.48, and averaged 7.8 yards per completion. Would you be happy if we had Tom Brady on the Dallas Cowboys? If we had Tom Brady, would you go ahead and say he's worth $30 million? Again, Super Bowl champion, 2,155 yards, 12 TDs, 3 interceptions, 7.8 per pass, 96.48. Clearly they win, right? That's a quarterback for you right there, right? Now we have Kirk Cousins, who got $28 million. He only threw for 1,777 yards the last 8 games of the season. 14 TDs, 6 interceptions, and only 7 yards per completion. And a 98 QBR. So that's the list of the quarterbacks that we're looking at. They're saying, these are guys that you can win with. These are guys that are some of the best in the NFL. These are guys that are worth the money because, you know, Russell Wilson, he's getting 35. Big Ben's getting 34. Aaron Rodgers is getting 33. Matty Ice is getting 30. Kirk Cousins is getting 28. And Wentz and Goff, they're going to get paid over 30. And Matty Ice is getting 30. That's the upper echelon, and that's the guys that are really getting paid in the NFL. And so as we have Dak Prescott giving a counter-offer to the Cowboys, and I wish I knew what it was, here's what's crazy. It's kind of crazy. It's really kind of crazy. Dak Prescott and Tom Brady, Super Bowl champion Tom Brady, numbers are almost identical. Last 8 games of the season, Tom Brady, 12 TDs. Dak Prescott, 12. Tom Brady, 3 interceptions. Dak Prescott, 3 interceptions. Tom Brady, yards per completion, 7.8. Dak, 7.7. QBR, Tom Brady, 96.48. Dak Prescott, 102.88. Here's the amazing thing. Dak Prescott's QBR was higher than Jared Goff last year. And this is, keep in mind, this is Dak Prescott we're talking about. The last 8 games that these guys played, Dak Prescott's QBR, this is after we got Amari Cooper now, was better than Jared Goff, Carson Wentz, Ben Roethlisberger, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and Kirk Cousins. Bet you didn't know that, did you? You know why? Because they don't do the research on ESPN and stuff. They don't give you all that information. So what we know is Dak Prescott finished the season on a high note. Dak Prescott got better as the season went on. Of course, having better personnel always helps. Now, could you imagine if he was in a situation like Matt Ryan was with Julio Jones, Sanu, and Calvin Ridley for receivers? And we were a passing offense, because that's the other thing that's not in here, is our team is predicated on the running game. So you can't exactly hold it against Dak Prescott that we don't throw the ball as much as, say, Big Ben. Because Big Ben had 190 more passes last year than Dak Prescott. Yeah, 190. So if you're getting 12 more passes a game, chances are you're going to have more yardage each game because, well, even if you only complete 50%, that's 6 more completions. So, guys, as we look and find out what Dak Prescott's going to get paid, and he will get paid, understand you're not paying a bum out there. You're just not. I'm Mark Holmes, and as always, just trying to give you the facts and the numbers. I look forward to anybody's argument out there, including you talking heads out there that keep saying that Dak Prescott is a dink and dunker and that he's garbage. Well, he was throwing the same distance as Tom Brady. He was throwing farther than Aaron Rodgers, throwing farther than Kirk Cousins, throwing farther than Jared Goff. Just the facts, man. I'll see you guys.